8, 1993, and it's approximately 2 p.m. Paul Bonacci is going to talk to me on tape for the next several hours, I presume. Paul, would you step in here and take your place? Paul, you're doing this on a voluntary basis.
Yeah.
Okay. And no threats or promises were made to you?
No.
To get to have you talk and to discuss this matter with me?
No.
Before we begin, tell me when you were born.
August 3rd, 1967.
Your number?
509.
And explain to me what multiple personality is. Because you've been a multiple one yourself.
Yeah, multiple personality disorder is a disorder that people get when they've suffered traumatic events, usually when they were young children, usually stemming from sexual abuse or satanic ritual abuse. And it's when a person has two or more personalities living within a body and stuff, or usually it's more than that. And they each have their own lives, and they each sometimes they see each other as being, usually they see each other as being a totally different person. But some of them know that they're multiples or that there's other personalities within the same body, but the majority of the personalities do not, and the main personality usually has no awareness of the other personalities at all. Usually he's totally unaware of everything. He just has to live through life with everybody saying, "Why did you do this yesterday?" and he doesn't even remember yesterday.
How do you switch from one personality to another? Now, if you were multiple personality, right?
Yeah.
How many personalities did you have?
Altogether there were about 121 or so.
Did each personality have a name?
Every personality has a name. Some personalities didn't have names, but they weren't personalities that were very active. Some of them held just a very few minutes of time altogether, and it was just to hold a certain event or a certain traumatic episode in life.
And why do people develop these? You said because of traumatic experience, but why would a traumatic experience cause you to develop another personality?
I haven't figured that out myself, but I think it has something to do with the fact that the main personality is unable to cope with it. It's so traumatic that you have to create a system so that the main personality can go on living without having all the problems, because normal people who get abused and stuff that don't create multiples and stuff usually have a lot of emotional problems, have a lot of physical problems and stuff, whereas a multiple usually, the main personality can usually go through life pretty simply, and nobody really notices it until the person starts getting older or switching behavior is so evident that there's not just one person there, that it's like you're dealing with several different people because they just change.
Does a person who's multiple remain multiple all their lives?
No. The multiple can become integrated. A lot of multiples, I think, go for co-consciousness, which is more like living with the other personalities, but everybody aware of what's going on all the time. But integration means that the personalities are totally gone, that you don't switch off from one personality to another personality, that one personality, usually hopefully it's the main person, all the other personalities integrate with them, and all their memories from all the other personalities go into that one person's memory, and the person learns to live with all of the traumatic events and learns to live in life and stuff without having to switch off to deal with daily events.
Are you multiple personality today?
Well, they say that I'll be a multiple all my life and have the ability to be a multiple and stuff, but I have no other personality, so no, I'm not.
Who says that you will be a multiple all your life?
Well, that's what all the psychiatrists try and say, is that once you're a multiple personality, you can integrate completely and stuff, but you always have the ability to dissociate into and create a new personality any time that's needed, which I don't know if that's true or not, because there's nothing that, after remembering my past, that anything in the future that could be any more horrible or any worse than what I've already gone through, so I don't feel like there's any need to ever have to switch back into that kind of a mode.
Are you saying that you're integrated now?
Yeah.
How did you become integrated?
That's mainly through the work with Pastor John and dealing with going through each of the personalities, finding out what caused the personality, and completely going through the personality, talking to it in my own, usually it was in my room and stuff, and convincing his personality stuff that he can live better if he's living with the rest of us. And in the integration process and stuff, the personality, usually I can see it inside my head, because inside you have a visual of everybody. It's the other personalities and stuff. And they grow up and they kind of just merge with you. And all of their memories come with them and stuff. There's no longer any need to have that personality because you already know everything that the personality knows from you talking with them.
So when we talk in the next couple of days, as you remember things that happened in the past, is this going to be your integrated personality? How do I know that you're not going to go back into one of your other personalities and forget something?
Because there's no other personalities to come out or talk to. There's no other personalities you can, I can step into. And if I forget something, it's mainly because I just don't remember it at the time or something. Sometimes somebody will say something and I'll remember it later. Because after integrating with all the personalities, I have all the information they have. Whereas before, the personalities could just come out and tell you like that. Now I have to think about like a normal person, which is a little bit longer, but I still have a little bit better than other people because I know how to, I filed all the memory and stuff. And I can just kind of switch into that type of this is like a file in my head and stuff. I can just kind of switch back and stuff and try and go into that activity or that event and pick out what it is that I'm looking for.
Now, you said that Reverend Morrow worked with you on your different personalities. Did you go one by one and identify each personality and then discuss that personality with him in order to become integrated?
Some of the personalities, the ones that were more what I call the living alters, which is the ones I call them living alters because they were the ones that were living daily lives. I mean, they would like get up in the morning, one would go to school or whatever it was. They're the ones that ran the day. And most of my life I was out between like 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That was my normal time for me as Paul to be out. And so it's like they were, we had to go through each one of them and talk to them. A lot of times they came out and talked to them, even though I don't think Pastor John knew. A lot of times he just talked to some of the other personalities. Sometimes I know he did. But yeah, I had to go through each one of them and discuss what created them in the first place. And main thing was I had to let them know that I cared about them and that I didn't hold any anger, toward them or anything for anything that they had done. And because a lot of them thought that I'd be angry with them when they found out everything that was going on and stuff. And so I had to deal with that. And main thing was I think the ability that I wanted to be integrated because I didn't want to go on living a life when I didn't even know what was going on. It's like everything kept switching on me. It's like people would tell me something to do one day and a week later I was ready to go do it and they're like going, well, we told you to do that last week. And I was like, I don't remember. It's like, that was just this morning, wasn't it? No, it's last week. And I was like, okay, I thought they were going crazy or something when actually with me that was not really crazy but just switching because it's not psychotic. I wasn't psychotic. I didn't, it's not like I went out and did things that, like an abnormal person would do.
So, you feel that now, as an integrated person, you have full knowledge of all that occurred with all your personalities, and you can act as one individual.
Yeah.
Paul Bonacci.
Yeah.
And without any difficulty. So as I ask you questions in the next several days, and we're going to be together for several days, and as you answer these questions, this is Paul Bonacci answering them, but in the old times, it would have been one of your other personalities. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in the past it would have had to been some of the others because, like when I first started getting interviewed by Gary Caradori and the Omaha police, the other personalities had to come out because I had no knowledge of any of this stuff at all. I mean, like the police when they said that Paul Bonacci, said that nothing happened, they were probably correct, because they probably actually in fact, I know they got me out one time and stuff, after one of the personalities had talked to me and stuff. And then...
What do you mean they got you out?
They got me as Paul out.
Okay.
During the middle of one of their interviews about some of these people that had abused me and stuff. And the way they got me out and stuff was they kind of scared the other personalities, and I'm usually the one that's kind of the protector of everybody. Because even though I didn't know at the time that these were other personalities, I thought these were their other friends and stuff that I was protecting and stuff. I came out and the cops were sitting there saying, telling me to take back stuff. This didn't really happen, did it? I mean...
That's the way they interviewed you?
Yeah, that's the way they interviewed me. It's like when I was
Who
talking
interviewed
about
you that way?
Detective, or Sergeant Hope.
Detective
Hope.
With what department?
M.P.D. Omaha Public.
Have you ever been interviewed by the FBI?
No.
Never?
I've never met anybody from the FBI.
Never met them, or you never interviewed by them?
I never met them. Never even seen an FBI agent.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Finish explaining.
But it's like when they got me to recant or take stuff back and with the police and stuff, all they'd have to do is apply a little pressure and stuff, which they knew I was an M.P.D. at the time they were interviewing me. And the first thing they should have known, that with an M.P.D. you do not apply pressure, because that just causes another personality to come out that, well, basically, you pressure all the personalities enough, and you'll finally get a personality that will admit that they either lied or either a personality that doesn't know anything about it and will say, yeah, So basically they were, with a multiple, they were in good hands, because it's like all you have to do is apply a little pressure, and you got a perfect recanter, because he's, already the traumatic events and painful events, or even anything that even begins to be abusive, the other personalities just flee, they run. If they can't handle it, they run. And so that's why they...
Did anybody else work with you besides Reverend Morrow? In your integrating your personalities?
No.
Sounds to me like you did a great job.
Well, he did, and God did a lot of the work. I mean, because I had to go back to my cell. Most of the integration happened when I was on my own and stuff, and I'd go through them and talk to personalities, and they'd be ready to integrate, and they'd integrate, and it was fine. And
so you, through strength, your own strength and your own faith.
Well, it wasn't my faith. The faith that God gave me, because my own strength, I'd have quit. He gave me a strength that I made it with.
I'm going to show you some pictures right now, and I don't have any group pictures to show with you, but this is a picture of a man and a child, and I'll hold these up one at a time to the camera. Right there. There's that one, and this one. And I want you to tell me if you recognize that person, that man.
I've seen the same guy, right?
Yeah, same one.
It's like this one's harder to spell. It looks real familiar, but...
Think about it in your travels, where you might have run into him.
I'm not quite sure right now.
But do you think you've seen him before?
Yeah. Of course, he reminded me again of Jerry Lowe. That's from California, but that wasn't where I remember this guy from. And I was trying to remember what Jerry Lowe was similar to that, but not quite